Eala falls short vs Alycia Parks, exits early in Australian Open singles draw. Eala fell short against Alycia Parks, 6-0, 3-6, 2-6, on Monday in the first round of the Australian Open in Melbourne, bowing out early in the singles draw of the Grand Slam tournament. Playing in front of a crowd that felt like a home court, with many Filipinos cheering her on, Eala put up a strong fight in a match that lasted nearly 2 hours. Beyond the scoreline, Eala's journey at the Australian Open. The sun-baked plexicushion courts of Melbourne Park glistened with anticipation as Eala, the Philippines' rising tennis star, stepped onto court 6 for her much-anticipated first-round match against the United States' Alycia Parks at the 2026 Australian Open. This was not merely a fixture on the Grand Slam calendar, but a moment laden with hope, expectation, and the weight of representation for millions of Filipinos watching around the globe. A moment in the spotlight. For a young athlete, Grand Slam main draw victories are as much psychological battles as they are physical duels. Eala, just 20, came into her Australian Open singles debut with genuine momentum. In recent months she had turned heads on the Women's Tennis Association (WTA) Tour, reaching her career-high ranking of world number 49, the highest ever achieved by a Filipino tennis player. Her early 2026 season had been promising. A semi-final run at the ASB Classic in Auckland, solid performances in exhibition events, and an aura of growing confidence. The buzz surrounding her match was palpable. Court 6, not one of the tournament's show courts, felt for a moment like a home stadium, packed with passionate Filipino fans eager to see one of their own shine on tennis's grandest stages. Flags waved, chants arose, and hearts collectively raced with every rally. Eala was more than a player here. She was a symbol of aspiration. A brilliant beginning. Then came the opening set, a dazzling burst that seemed to echo hope itself. From the very first game, Eala unleashed all her tools with precision. Tense rallies, explosive first serves, sharp angles, and calculated aggression allowed her to break Parks repeatedly. The scoreboard swiftly reflected her dominance, 6-0. In a mere 30-plus minutes, she had delivered a blistering first set, shutting out her opponent and electrifying the crowd. For a moment, time seemed to pause. It wasn't just another bagel set in a Grand Slam's first round. It was a message that Eala belonged here, that she could assert herself, fearlessly, on this stage. But tennis is rarely a tale of just one act. The shift in the wind. As Eala's supporters roared, Parks, a seasoned competitor with a powerful serve and hardened tour experience, opted not to crumble. Ranked lower than Eala at the time, she had previously reached a career high of number 40 and carried within her the resilience of someone well-versed in battle. The second set began with Parks surging ahead, racing to a 3-0 lead. It was as if she had flipped an internal switch, letting her heavy ground strokes and aggressive positioning pave the way for a reimagined performance. Yet Eala, brimming with competitive spirit, countered mid-set, clawing back to tie at 3-3 with impressive grit. Still, Parks, embracing her own momentum, found a burst of energy and tactical sharpness. She closed out the second set 6-3, dividing the match's emotional narrative in two. What had been a one-sided sprint transformed into a compelling duel. The decider, strength versus heart. The third set unfolded like a microcosm of Eala's rise, promising, filled with flashes of brilliance, but ultimately requiring levels of consistency that even champions continuously hone over time. Parks started fast again, earning a 2-0 lead. Eala, undeterred, responded with a lone game that kept her in striking distance and showcased again her fighting spirit. Yet Parks, with tactical maturity and unyielding resolve, began to pull away. In a blend of power, timing, and mental composure, the American closed out the match 6-2. When the final ball sailed past Eala's racket, the scoreboard read 0-6, 6-3, 6-2. A dramatic reversal that underscored the unpredictable poetry of tennis. Beyond the numbers, to the casual observer, Eala's exit might superficially resemble a disappointing loss. A dominant start followed by a comeback defeat. Such storylines are common in tennis history. But the deeper narrative, for both Eala and the sport she represents, is brimming with meaning. Let's explore why. 1. Growth isn't linear. Tennis careers, especially for young players, often swing like pendulums. A breakthrough moment is seldom followed by uninterrupted triumph. Instead, it arrives as a mosaic of victories and setbacks that collectively forge resilience. Eala's early exit, while painful in the moment, is also fertile ground for learning how to maintain intensity, manage momentum, and embrace adversity at the highest level. 2. Her first slam. Her first lessons. Grand slams are unique, grand in name but grander in psychological challenge. The weight of expectation, the intensity of the crowd, and the energy shifts inherent to best-of-3 matches require a mental elasticity that even seasoned pros refine over years. Playing under such conditions, and eye-catching crowds, is itself a milestone in an athlete's development. 3. A broader inspiration. For young tennis players in the Philippines and across Southeast Asia, Eala's presence on this stage, her first Australian Open main draw appearance, is revolutionary. It sends a message: the world's biggest tennis stages are not distant aspirations but attainable destinations with effort and belief. The crowd's echo. One of the most fascinating, complex elements of Eala's match was not merely what happened on the baseline, but what happened around it. Fans can be both a player's wind beneath their wings and, paradoxically, a distraction. When a crowd rallies with emotion, the intensity of expectation can sometimes ripple back onto the athlete in unexpected ways. For Eala, who had galvanized the Filipino crowd, the support was thunderous, passionate enough to drown out opposing cheers and rally calls. But for a young competitor, managing that unique blend of encouragement and pressure is as much a mental art as a physical one. Meanwhile, Parks, playing in a sea of foreign support, showcased remarkable composure, adapting to the atmosphere and using it as motivation rather than resistance. This interplay of crowd dynamics adds a layer of narrative intrigue that goes beyond lines, sets, and games.